For me, this journey in particular, going around the Middle East, Arabia, the idea was to try and challenge some of the prevailing myths and stereotypes about a place that tends to be in the news for all the wrong reasons. And in doing so, doing these sorts of events, going on stage and talking to people about places that they've probably heard of on the news, but actually probably don't have necessarily an understanding of what all these complexities are. So what I'm trying to do is by travelling to places like Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and speaking to the local people, it's telling their stories and sharing them with the world. I mean, I've taken my inspiration from lots of different sources. I mean, I've always, ever since I was a child, been interested in, the tales of exploration from, the golden era. So people like David Livingstone, Shackleton, Scott, all these famous explorers inspired me, but in the modern era as well, there's plenty of inspirational figures like Sir Ranulph Fiennes. So I've been very lucky to meet some of them myself, and it's all about finding your inspiration in lots of different places and taking that with you in your own work. I like the challenge of going to places that are sometimes remote, sometimes inaccessible, and being able to see what's really there. And I guess I'm driven by a sense of curiosity, by a sense of hoping to share with other people my own experiences and adventures, and ultimately that's what it is. It's a real adventure, and some people aren't so lucky to be able to go on their own adventures, so I will happily go there for them. In places like the Middle East, you can't go very far without bumping into the legacy of both ancient and modern history, and going to places like Damascus, Jericho, Erbil, some of the oldest cities in the world, the legacy is all too apparent. Sometimes it's great to see, sometimes it's shocking. I went to Palmyra in Syria, which was partially destroyed by ISIS, as we know. So seeing places like that can sometimes be heartbreaking, but generally I've come away with a hopeful attitude, and seeing that actually in a lot of places, the legacy is maintained and restored, and it was amazing to see on this particular trip, places like Babylon, and these very ancient cities. So hopefully people will learn something new about the region through the context of history. I think all of these journeys have changed me and affected me in different ways. The Nile journey, which is my first really big journey in terms of the one that's televised and actually kick-started my writing and television career. That was a journey that I did entirely on foot, walking through some of the most challenging terrain probably anywhere in the world. I had no idea at the time how long it was going to take me. So mentally, physically, emotionally, very, very difficult. Since then, I've completed a number of big overland journeys lasting, usually in excess of half a year each one. But the recent journey around Arabia was the one that I've wanted to do for a very long time. I first travelled around the Middle East in 2003 at the time of the invasion of Iraq. So to come back and see how the region's changed over the last 15 years was a real dream come true. Next big adventure, I don't know yet. I've put a lot of time and effort and energy into the Middle East. So I'm going to make sure that this is a success in terms of promoting the book, and I'm in the middle of the edit for the documentary, which will be forthcoming in 2019. So I guess it's a case of watch this space, and I'm sure something will come up soon.